So we continue with d block elements, and we are presently studying their properties, and we're actually learning the trends, how these properties change along a series or down the group. And before we take a look at today's property, one more look at the periodic table. This is the portion we are studying from group 3 to group 12. These are our transition elements. Now today's property is oxidation states. One of the very important properties of transition elements is that they show variable oxidation states. Transition elements, like these S block elements, do not show just one oxidation state. Like sodium is present as +1, it's monovalent positive always, and calcium is divalent positive always in all its compounds. However, these transition elements, they show variable oxidation states. Now some of the important points are written here in this slide. Except the first and the last member, all transition elements show a number of oxidation states, except the first and the last. There are reasons for that, we'll see that later. In this slide I've taken the example of the 3D series. You can see the first one shows only one oxidation state, +3. The last one shows only one oxidation state of +2. Rest, you can see all of them show a number of oxidation states. Why do they show a number of oxidation states? There's a reason, and the reason is this, point number 2 in this slide. Remember the general configuration of d block elements, that the last electron enters n-1 d orbital of penultimate shell, and their outermost shell n is also incomplete. So because of this electronic arrangement, they have two incomplete shells, n the valence shell and n-1 the penultimate shell is also incomplete. And there isn't much difference of energy between n and n-1. n-1 is immediately ahead of the valence shell n. Therefore they can use both the electrons present in n as their valence electrons and the electrons present in n-1. And since they are electropositive, they have the ability to lose electrons. For bond formation, for compound formation, they can lose both electrons of n as well as n-1 as is the need. Right? That is why they are capable of showing variable oxidation states. If they had the configurations in the manner so that they could just lose these valence electrons, then they would have probably just one oxidation state like zinc, +2. But they have these d electrons available also, they can lose them also. That is why they show variable oxidation states. Another important point is in lower oxidation states, if you monitor this, if you take a look, serious look at this chart, you will observe that in lower oxidation states like +2 or +2, they lose only ns electrons, because पहले electron कहाँ से निकलेगा? Valence shell से, which is 4s in the first series. So n से निकलेंगे पहले electrons, and in lower oxidation states like that of +2, they will lose ns. And if there is a need of a higher oxidation state, compound ऐसा बनाना है that transition element has to be in a +4 oxidation state, +5 oxidation state, then they start losing n-1 d electrons to acquire that oxidation state. Last point is the conclusion. Basically, the reason for having variable oxidation states is that they have two sets of valence electrons. Now in this slide we have the first transition series, the 3D series. As you can see, scandium is just +3, zinc is just +2, and the reasons are the electronic arrangement. Otherwise you can see all of them have variable, they have many oxidation states. Manganese, which is in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 oxidation states. It can exist in +2 form, +3, +4, +5, +6 and +7. The bold, the highlighted oxidation states given in this photograph are the most common oxidation states. As you can see, +2 is mostly there for every element of 3D series. Most of them exist in +2 oxidation state. And then titanium exists most commonly in +4, vanadium in +5, this in chromium in +3 and +6, manganese in +2 and +7. The highlighted ones are the most common oxidation states of that particular element. I've used this slide again just to give you an idea of how there is an electronic arrangement. We're talking about 3D series. ये हमारे 3D electrons होते हैं, and ये 4s. First they lose 4s. Indeed, जब distribution of electrons होती है, the last electron, valence electron enters this n-1 d orbital. लेकिन ये मैंने आपको बार बार बोला है कि जब एक atom कैटाइन में चेंज होना होता है, उसको इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करना होता है, irrespective of everything electron will first leave from the outermost shell. 4s से जब दोनों निकल के ख़त्म हो जाएंगे तब जाके इनकी टर्न आती है. Now why is zinc only +2? As you can see, after losing 2 4s electrons, इसका configuration 3d10 4s2 होता है zinc का. After losing these 2 electrons, it acquires a stable configuration. So it's very difficult to remove an electron from this. That is why zinc exists only in +2 oxidation state. Now there are some very important points to remember about this, the oxidation state of transition elements. As you saw in the chart also, the most common oxidation state of the first series is +2. Scandium is the only element जिसकी +2 नहीं है. It exists in +3 oxidation state because +3 oxidation में it is D0 and that is how it is stable. Now they form ionic bonds in +2 oxidation state and +3 oxidation state, whereas they form covalent bonds in higher oxidation states. Like the same element will form both ionic and covalent compounds depending on the oxidation state. If it has to form a covalent compound, it will exist in higher oxidation states, and for the formation of ionic compounds, it will exist in the oxidation states +2 and +3. Now the maximum number, कितना possible है? We say that a transition element can show a number of oxidation states, but there has to be a limit. What is that limit? Maximum number obviously will be the total number of S and D electrons. इसके beyond, इसके अंदर जो core होगा उसमें से electrons नहीं निकलेंगे. It can lose all its S and all its 3D electrons as far as the elements of 3D series are concerned. Therefore, that number becomes the maximum number of possible oxidation states. Another element observed in D block elements is कि heavier metals जो होते हैं, they're all metals, but some of them are heavy metals. Heavy metals are more stable in higher oxidation states. For example, let's take a look at group 6. We have chromium, molybdenum and tungsten. Chromium is also a metal. Molybdenum and tungsten are heavier metals. They are heavier than chromium. So molybdenum and tungsten are both found to be stable in a higher oxidation state of +6 as compared to chromium. Chromium is also stable in +6. It does show +6 oxidation state, but it is more stable in lower oxidation states. Now the oxidation state of a metal depends on the nature of the solvent also. Right? It can change its oxidation state in the solvent depending on the nature of the solvent, and in that solvent it can undergo oxidation or reduction, and its oxidation state can change depending on its stability in that solvent. For example, Cu+1 जो होता है oxidation state copper की, it's unstable in water. Since it's unstable, it may undergo oxidation, right? It will lose more electrons. So it will start existing as +2, it will lose one more electron. So copper in water generally exists करता है +2 because +1 is unstable. That is why I have written oxidation state depends on the nature of the solvent. Cu+2 is however stable in water. It will neither undergo oxidation nor reduction. Rest of the reaction अगर किसी और reagent से combine होगा, that will take place accordingly. We are discussing its stability in solvent here. Now they can exist in very low oxidation states like +1 and 0 also. आप जो next chapter पढ़ोगे coordination compounds का, उसमें you'll see coordination compounds में transition element can have a 0 oxidation state. One of the very common examples there is, I haven't written the example here because it would just confuse you. आपने अभी पढ़ा ही नहीं है coordination compounds क्या है. Pentacarbonyl iron, it's a compound of iron, and iron exists in 0 oxidation state. So it is very much possible there. Next point, the relative stability of two different oxidation states. अब आपका जो copper है, it exists in +1 oxidation state and +2. If you have to give their relative stability, which of the two is more stable? Is +1 more stable or +2? You can do that on the basis of electrode potential also. Like we have shown the reduction of both of them. Copper plus जब electron accept करता है, electrode potential is 0.52 volts. Whereas Cu+2 जब electrons accept करेगा and convert होगा into copper, it is 0.34, lower than this, which means that Cu in its +1 oxidation state is less stable. That is why it gets reduced and converted into copper solid element, right? जितनी ज़्यादा electrode potential होगा, उतना less stable होता है वो oxidation state उस element का. Based on these results, we have written Cu+1 is less stable than Cu+2, right? The last point is not only true for transition elements, it is true for all elements, that oxidation state of a transition element, transition metal, depends on the nature of a combining atom. They do exist in a number of oxidation states. Now, in some compounds, iron will exist as +2, in some it will exist as +3, and it depends on so many factors, and one of the primary factors being what is it combining with, जिसके साथ combine कर रहा है उसकी oxidation state क्या है. Accordingly, iron will have its oxidation state, right? This time I have made smaller presentations because all the properties are a little elaborate, and we'll be doing small presentations now onwards.